Record and go live. Hey, we are live. Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Ngom and I help female entrepreneurs who are sick of struggling on Facebook and Instagram generate new leads and sales on autopilot with Pinterest. I share my top strategies that help me grow my traffic by 34,000 people per month for free using Pinterest. And every week I'm interviewing just some rockstar entrepreneurs who are crushing it. And I'm super excited to talk with Katie Fleming today. Katie is a mom to two fierce little girls and wife to her high school sweetheart. Katie is a serial entrepreneur and founder of 1K Mom, a community of moms who are building businesses and raising a family and doing both well. She's the creator of the 1K Mom Business Academy, an academy and mastermind program designed for the mom who wants to start a business and build a brand, grow their network marketing business, or monetize their expertise without compromising their days with their kids. She loves to paint the vision for moms of how amazing they are, encourage them to share their message, and monetize their brilliance. Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so I just introduced you, but I'm sure there were some gaps, so why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself and give us a glimpse into your personal life?
Well, thank you so much for that intro. It's so good to chat with you and your audience. You are just a powerhouse of knowledge yourself. And I loved getting to speak with you this week too for my show, my podcast. But yeah, so a little bit about me personally behind the business is, like I mentioned, I'm wife to my high school sweetheart. The true story is I stalked him. I knew from the moment I met him we would get married. It took him a few months to realize I was right, but we've been James and Katie ever since. And we've got two little girls, a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, Lizzie and Juliana. And they are fun, the most smiliest, but yet strong-willed little women. It's crazy. I don't think I make them any differently than that. Like, they just come out strong-willed.
They come out strong-willed. See, everyone's telling me to have another. My son, he's strong-willed as heck. And they're like, have another one. They won't be strong-willed. You only get one. And I'm like, I don't know.
I was banking on that. I was totally banking on that because my husband's pretty chill. He has but they're very, like, he's just very laid back. And I was very sure my second one would be like him. And no.
Oh, that's so
it's
funny.
Awesome. But that's exactly what I want in two tiny little women. So it's perfect. So anyway, yeah, that's our life. We just love it. Yeah.
Cool. So talk to us about the 1K Mom and your sweet spot. What's your area of expertise? The thing that makes you really stand out?
Yeah. So the 1K Mom brand and community and business academy is all about helping the mom who has an idea, has a vision, has this passion inside her that she wants to pursue, but she just feels like, okay, how do I do that while being a mom? Mm-hmm. And so it's just really this place where I really encourage moms, like, you can do both well. You can be mom and business owner, and it involves saying yes to some things and no to some things, but you really can do it. And it's not like a part-time income. It can be as big as you want it to be. And kind of my expertise is painting that vision for people, kind of frameworking things, really taking complicated things and making them simple. Mm-hmm. And whether we're on a Zoom call, one-on-one with clients, or in a group setting, or we are lucky enough to get coffee one day together in person, like, the thing that I love doing is pushing the envelope for these women and saying, but have you realized, like, this? Or have you ever considered this? I mean, the tools that we have today are insane. So if you are sitting on an idea or this thing this wells up in your spirit, then stop. It's time to share it. Like, let's figure out a way to get that going, because our kids need to see mama going after something big and changing lives.
I love that. Okay, so how do you stay balanced as a mom and a business owner?
It's hard, and I think it's not possible. So I don't know that there is really balance. It's sometimes we teeter to the right and sometimes we go to the left, and I don't think we ever fully are balanced, but it is just realizing in the moment, what do I need to focus on? Mm-hmm. Just being able to say, okay, there's this family emergency thing. I need to go focus on that and put down everything else, and be able to, like, be in a position where you can do that without stress. And that's, I think, where a lot of moms come into play if they're working and they're like, my kid has an ear infection. I can't be there without being stressed about what my boss is going to say or the time off that I have or whatever. So I encourage women, whether you want to build a business or not, just build a life that allows you to focus on what matters most in the moments. So
having that freedom.
yeah.
That is so, so key. I remember, I have my 4-year-old, and just being able to, like, if he's sick and being like, well, I don't have to like call my employer and say I'm not coming to work today. I get to choose my hours and choose my schedule. And I think that's a really cool thing to have.
Yeah, and just being really strict on ourselves too, because if you're anything like me, which I'm pretty sure you are, Rachel, from our conversation, like we love to learn, we love to get stuff done, we love to just be working all the time. Like my husband's out of town right now, and he called last night and he's like, what are you watching on TV? I'm like, babe, I don't watch TV when you're not here. Like I enjoy like sitting at my computer and researching the latest whatever. Like I was doing Pinterest keywords last night because
of me. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Okay.
Yes, I had this running list of long tail keywords. Pretty fun. So,
okay. Which ones did you come up with?
Oh gosh, I can't find my note. But I'll have to tell you. Like
you'll have to tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for you. When you implement some of those things, like it's just going to pop. Like, oh, that's awesome.
I'm excited. So it was just funny because like we just enjoy different things. And like knowing that about myself, I've got to know, like it's hard for me if my daughter's sick or something calls for my attention. It's hard for me to put everything else to rest and really take care of myself or take care of my kids. So really allowing myself to sit on the couch and be okay with watching the 50th episode of Sophia the First or whatever.
Yes. I think I burnt myself out really, really bad because I'm hustler, a hard worker. And I just had to learn how to like unplug and relax and do things that I knew weren't gonna help my business, but that were like fun for me. So I literally went like a couple years without reading a book for pleasure or watching TV. Like it just blows my mind. Like I'm so disciplined. And so I started like watching Friends reruns again. And I just started watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I used to always make fun of, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of entertaining. But like giving myself like that time to unplug and actually like do nothing or do ridiculous things.
Yeah, I mean, when my oldest is at school and my youngest is napping, like I'll make lunch and then I'll go sit down at my desk. I'm like, wait a second, let's go sit down and watch Friends. Like, actually, Friends is my go-to episode. Like, show.
Always.
It's short and I can like halfway pay attention to it, but still fully know what's going on.
And it's always so funny, and it always puts me in such a good mood. Like, it will never get old. I have every episode memorized, and it'll never get old.
We used to play when we first got married. We used to play Friends Seen It. With all of our friends. I mean, we were like 20 at the time, but yeah, total nerds.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Talk to us about your podcast. So what is that all about? And I'm going to be on it. Hello.
Yeah. So, okay, if you go listen to it right now, here's the deal. I do what I preach, and I preach messy action and just getting started. And so often we want this magic unicorn, beautiful frilly idea that's going to make us a bunch of money and make us fulfilled or whatever. But it doesn't come, guys, from just sitting there. Like you can't start down or you can't be somewhere and expect to get somewhere, go to a new place, go to these new restaurants if you don't actually get in the car and drive. So just starting on that pathway, just starting to, walk and find these new ideas, you jump upon things. And so I had this idea. I was like, you know what? I need to get on a podcast because this 1K Mom this brand is about talking to moms who are in the thick of motherhood and business. And what better way to do that than podcasting? I love podcasts because as a mom, like I can go clean my house, put in my Bluetooth headphones, and before you know it, I've listened to like 3 episodes and my house is beautiful.
Yep.
That was me last night. my daughter's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm cleaning your mess off the ground. Go to sleep. But anyway, so if you go listen to it right now, there's not a ton of awesome episodes. It was me doing my rants, which I can get very passionately ranty at times. But the audio is not great. My editing was pretty darn poor. But what I'm doing right now is relaunching with some killer guests. One of which is Rachel. We've got some other people that are coming on to tell us how she made her first 12K in her first month with no website. So yeah, I just wanted a place to really interview women, moms, and really highlight the people that are doing it well. And it's hard. Being a mom and being a business owner, both of those things are hard. And when you combine them together, it's super tricky, but it's worth it.
Yes. I love what you said about taking messy action. And I like so many people just wait and they wait and they wait. And like my business is messy. It's not perfect. I'm hiring, like I'm interviewing new assistants and I'm working. But I had someone email me and they're like, we're getting double emails from you, Rachel. And I'm like, oh, but at least they're getting emails and at least it's working. And then like I just took action and then I'll figure it out and I'll make it better. Yeah. And so instead of getting stuck in like, it has to be perfect and everything, I'm like, I'll just do it and then I'll make it better.
I'm kind of a recovering perfectionist.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I've kind of gone off the grid though, where I don't really care anymore. I'm like, you know what, just get it out there.
I'm just like, fail faster, do it, take action. It's going to be messy, make it better. Like,
yeah, and before when I started doing that, that's when things started happening. That's when the ideas started flowing. That's when the money started rolling in. That's when all the things started to piece together.
Yep.
And you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, that I would have never pictured myself here had I not started on the path.
Yep. Take messy action and just do it. Holy moly. Heck yeah. So why don't you tell us something that we as entrepreneurs don't know about creating a business online or just making sales, but we really should?
Goodness, this is a good question. And I think I just kind of answered it. I think my thought was we want everything to be perfect before we start. And it's just not. And we've got, if you want to get into this magical flow everybody talks about, or have that great idea or whatever, like you got to just start. And I always tell my clients, if you don't really know your expertise, if we really haven't nailed your niche yet, if we don't fully know your customer journey, yada, 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 all these details, that's okay. The biggest thing you can do today and the biggest thing you should do is talk to your people. Mm-hmm. Just start talking. And I love getting on live video. I think live video is the best way to do that. It's just talk to your people. And you'll find your voice. You'll find where you kind of fit in and love to really talk about and how you want to impact the world. So if you're not clear on your niche, your person you help, or your problem you solve, just start talking. And I also love, for people that are maybe fearful of live video, it's called my Instagram story hack. And just go on Instagram stories and just start sharing like little 15-second snippets of your life. Like I started to do that months and months ago, and people that I know in real life, like from church or wherever, they're like, you're much more like, I don't know what they said, but like, you're much more intense. And I'm like, well, that's actually me. So you just don't really know me. But anyway, it's like, you just start to kind of adopt your whoever you are. So I call it adopt my fire, because, you know, as a kid, I kind of was very shy and kind of suppressed some of those things, but like, I don't know. It's been a journey that I've been on. I don't know if you can attest to that too, but just really coming into who you are.
Totally.
And being fully accepting of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we get stuck in our own heads and we're just thinking and thinking and thinking, and you're not going to figure it out until you actually do and take action. And that's when you figure out like the things that I like to do and the things I don't like to do. So like when I was starting this new business with helping people with Pinterest, I started actually like managing people's Pinterest accounts. And it wasn't until I did that for a couple of months and I was like, no, I don't like this. I'm like, I'm going to be doing courses and coaching people, but I'm not going to be, but I wouldn't have known that until I like actually started doing it and taking action, right?
Yep. And sometimes the quickest way to get income into your business is through those service-based things like that. Like, what can you do as a VA? Like, what can you go help somebody with in their business? But I love that you've transitioned that and realized you're true.
I did not like it. Did not like it. Okay, let's talk about mindset and challenges. So you've done some awesome things in your business. What has been the biggest struggle when you were starting out?
Oh, goodness. So like you were saying, like when you realize what you love. So I realized really like I started to really be thoughtful about what I was as a kid, and I loved teaching. I can remember my brother and I being at our church late at night while my parents were practicing in choir. We're the only kids there, and we were in this one room that had a projector. You remember like the big, huge white projectors with the vis-a-vis markers, and you'd write on the transparency.
Yep.
And I'm the older sister, so I'd say, Zach, sit down. We're having school, and I'd write some problem out, and he'd have to come up and do it, and I was all teachery. So I realized that, like, I love teaching, but I was always like, I don't want to be a teacher because they don't pay very much. And then I always had this entrepreneurial bug. Like I always was late night talking with my dad, coming up with ideas, pushing the envelope on everything. So there was that. And then I always like just loved just being a mom. I knew from the earliest age that I would be a mom and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, even though I'm not really the traditional stay-at-home mom.
Right.
But yeah, so I kind of combined those three things and realized like, oh, this is what I need to do. Combine all three of those things. And just like the other thing I realized was I was overcomplicating the heck out of all of it. Like it didn't have to be that hard. And that's why I created my define, design, and deliver framework, because it really is just about defining who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, designing the perfect plan for you, which is way different than the perfect plan for anybody else and all those people that do funnels and fancy things that we don't need. And then delivering it, like getting on live video, talking to your people, sharing that message over and over again, adjusting and just making it happen. So
Cool. I love that. Have you had like any aha or breakthrough moments?
I think it would be that whole just not complicating. It does not have to be all of these fancy things. Very much of a squirrel brain I can have where I'm like, ooh, messenger bots. Let's go check that out. You know, all these things that you really don't need, especially if you don't put them on top of a well-balanced business to begin with. So, yeah.
I think there's a lot of that like squirrel mentality, like they're doing it, so I want to do it too, when we just need to focus on like the one thing that we're great at, like our zone of genius and what's going to move the needle forward.
Yeah. And I loved what you said when we talked earlier this week, where you said, I'm saying no to this so I can say yes to this. So being able to really put your blinders on and actually have the discipline to say no to something good for something better.
Yeah. I mean, what she's talking about, you guys, I have over 20,000 Instagram followers and I said no to posting on Instagram so I could focus on Pinterest, because I knew that was going to move the needle forward in my business way more than Instagram would. So it's a little sad, but that's okay. Because I know like Pinterest is insane. Like the amount of leads that I get every day now, just from even my new business, like it blows my mind. So I know I'm doing the right thing for me. And yeah, you gotta have that like laser focus, I think.
Yeah, I love that.
Huge. What is one trait or habit you think every girl boss needs to have to be unstoppable?
Yeah. So, gosh, I think it's that realization that we as moms, women, but I think to my audience, like moms, we are powerful. We can do so many things more than we realize. And to really just come into our expertise and just, goodness gracious, kind of lost my train of thought there. And then also just to know, like, you're a pretty big deal. You know, if you've ever seen the movie Anchorman with Ron Burgundy, where he's like, I'm a pretty big deal. That's always what I think in my head. I'm like, I say it all the time. I'm like, I'm a really big deal. Do you believe it? Like I tell that to my husband. I'm like, I'm a big deal.
Heck
And
yeah.
even before you like fully believe it, if you're sitting in that place where you're like, I'm not a big deal, like just start saying it. And before you know it, like you'll believe it. And everybody else around you will be like, oh my gosh, she's a big deal.
You have to speak those things over yourself. Like I remember just speaking like income goals, or even things like when I first started my first business, I was not like a confident person, like at all. And I remember writing down like, I am confident, I am a leader, and like actually speaking those things over me. And now it's like no big thing. Like I remember, gosh, I was writing down my goals back in like 2013 or something like that. One of my big goals was teaching turbo kick. And that to me was one of the scariest things in the entire world, because I hated getting up in front of people. I was like so self-conscious. And now I teach spin and yoga without even like a plan. Like it ain't no big deal. And I'm like, this is so much fun. I love being in front of people.
Yeah. I mean, when we can step into like who we really are like that, that's when we're the most powerful. And and I love to talk about, I mean, because you're not going to, when you start really being authentically you, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
No.
And that's okay. Like I love to say, if they don't like it, they can tap on by, kind of like an Instagram story. If you ain't jiving what I'm putting down on my Instagram story, just tap on by. I don't care. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Like I'm not for you. If you're a 40-year-old man watching my Instagram story and you don't like what you see, perfect, because you're not my demographic.
That's so big. I actually just did a post about this that got a ton of comments on Facebook on how I share my faith. in my business, and it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I had people like leave my free Facebook community because I posted scripture in there. And I think that's a big thing that people are afraid of, but I think you need to embrace who you are. And what I always tell people is attract and repel. And so you need to be like 100% authentically you, and you're going to attract the right people to you and repel the wrong people. So when someone unsubscribes or leaves a Facebook group or whatever, I'm like, bye, you were not my ideal person. And that's okay. Like, I bless you, have fun, and you're going to jive with somebody else that can help you.
Yeah.
And I think being okay with saying like, bye, that's something people struggle with, but you need to be okay with it. Because it's when you can be 100% you and authentic, that's when the magic happens. And we do have comments, hold on.
And I love to, when I have like, when you're trying to build a brand or a tribe, I love to like envision there actually being people around me listening to me. Like, I watched a live video of somebody who was in Vegas, and he's a big marketer, and he had like hundreds of people circling him asking questions. But if you think of your audience like that, like these are people that you enjoy being around, and they enjoy being around you, and they want to know what you know, and you want to help them. If you can envision those numbers in a Facebook group or those numbers in an email list as actually like there's people and stories standing around you, you can impact them more, and you can be okay with so-and-so leaving because she just didn't mesh with you. It's okay.
Yep. If my like friends gifts annoy you, then we're not a good fit, and that's okay.
Pivot.
Right. The best episode. I'm gonna watch that tonight. Roberta said, hi, Rachel and Katie. Katie, I think you're following me on Instagram. She's Empowered Parent Plan.
Okay, yeah.
And she said, you'll go crazy if you try to be perfect, especially with kids. They have a way of making us humble and grounded and realistic. Amen. Mm-hmm. And then she said, have recently read, you should speak to yourself in the third person. You would say, Rachel, you are confident. Yeah. Heck yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And I also love like whatever follows I am is what is. So I am confident, or I am whatever. I am a big deal. Whatever it is you need to right now in your life.
I actually catch myself like catching my clients of what they're speaking over themselves. Like, I am so unorganized. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just working on getting better organized every day. Like, don't speak that over yourself. Even like those little things, like they really do make a big difference. And so I'm like, speak life. Always speak life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Huge. Okay. So what is your business model? How are you monetizing right now? I know you mentioned membership sites. Is there anything else that you're doing?
Yeah. So I've got one-on-one coaching and I'm also moving into a group coaching where I just love the dynamic of a group because everybody's at different places in their business. Everybody has a different thing they bring to the table and expertise. So just the camaraderie there and the family kind of unit vibe that I try to present is we're all there for each other. Like, how can I help you? How can you help me? Like, how can we make all of our businesses grow? Really having just an abundance mentality. And so the 1K Mom Business Academy is really where my love and heart is right now. And that's the group coaching program. And that's 13 weeks where we really go through my whole framework of define, design, and deliver so that we can monetize that brilliance.
That's awesome. Cool. Okay. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Invest sooner. And I'm not talking like stock market or anything like that. I'm talking about in yourself. And not being afraid to. I mean, it's hard sometimes to see the direct return because it's not like, oh, I'm going to put money in this stock today and the fancy guru says it's going to go here. It's not like that, but it's just investing in yourself because you never know what that knowledge or what aha moments you're going to have come from that, or even relationships. You never know from a networking standpoint how that's going to catapult you to the next place.
Whew. When someone tells me like they can't afford to do something, I'm like, don't speak that over yourself. Second, like you need to make an investment in yourself in order to see your business grow. And some of like my scariest investments and scariest times, that has like made the biggest difference in my business. Yeah. And so I love that you said that. And I think more people need to like look down and say, okay, what do I need to do to make everything happen in 2018? Do I need a coach? Do I need a course? Like what investment do I need to make in myself? I remember, I think it was Brian Tracy that said, Brian Tracy or Darren Hardy, invest like 10% back into yourself and your own personal growth. And I started doing that in 2013 or 2014, whenever I started my business. I mean, When did I start? 2012. Oh my God. I'm old.
Yeah, I've seen that in a couple places too. The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which is an amazing book. He mentions 10% for education purposes. It's something to fully grow your mind and your business. And the way my husband and I have always looked at it, and he's the best supporter that I could have as an entrepreneur, because when you're married to a serial entrepreneur, it's very tricky sometimes. But the way he looks at it is he's like, what are you going to get from this? Like, what do you need to do? And then let's look at the price tag. Don't look at the price tag and say no and write it off before you even really know what you need or what it can bring you. So start first with the value and then figure out how to make that price tag happen if it matters to you.
When there's a will, there's a way. Like, everything is figure outable. And so don't say like, I can't afford it. Just say, okay, this is what it costs. How can I make it happen?
Exactly.
Huge.
Yep. And that we have that as parents too. I mean, my daughter had to go to a different school. The school she was at closed down, and we were used to paying a very cheap amount for that school. So like going to a new one, it was everything was more expensive, but even the one we knew she should go to was very more expensive. But it was just like, okay, what's best for her? What's best for her socially, educationally, all of this stuff. What's best? And then let's figure out how to make that price tag happen. And of course, when you set it up like that, it always settles out.
Yep. I love that. I want to give everyone an idea of what it takes to run an online business. So what does your team look like?
So right now it's just really me. I'm in the process right now of hiring yeah. It's been necessary. It's been on my to-do list for a while, and I'm trying to hire a domestic and also a overseas VA. So any tips you have, Rachel, on that, let me know.
I'm going to have to do a blog post. I've had overseas VAs for like 5 years. I'm finally hiring my first US, she's actually in Canada, English speaking person. So I'm excited for that. But you need help. Girl.
I mean, I've got a PR. I have a lot of contractors, but nobody that is consistent. So I have like a PR person. I have some copywriting editors and stuff like that. But definitely looking to bring on a team member that can kind of just grow with me. So
cool. I'll have to do a blog post on like hiring a virtual assistant, because that's huge.
I've got a couple of hacks I've heard from some podcasts that I really like that I'm going to definitely implement. So
we'll Cool. How are you using social media right now for your business?
So right now you can find me a lot of times on Instagram stories. I love that ability to connect. I feel like it really helps go deep with my audience and just get to know them and them to know me. Facebook is huge with live video. Pinterest is now on my radar because of you.
Yes, girl. Yes. Thank you.
So, yes. So, I mean, like I told Rachel earlier this week, I mean, Pinterest, there's an opportunity there. So listen to your girl, Rachel, because she's got some amazing knowledge.
Dude, Pinterest is like the place to be. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm so happy you're like starting to branch out and head over there. So that's really cool.
Yes.
I got some rapid fire questions. So 1 sentence or less. What do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur?
The ability to create something out of nothing.
What's the most challenging part?
Oh, goodness. I think the ups and downs of it. I mean, just the day to day, even in the moment to moment, it can be so up and down.
One moment I'm on top of the world, the next I'm like, what, Justin?
I know. My husband's like, you're so intense. I'm like, I'm intense to begin with. Okay.
Seriously? Oh my God. Okay, that's so true. What's one go-to resource or tool that allows you to be a high performer?
Oh goodness, you make me just pick one. There's so many. But I would say templates, because I never start with a blank document. You overwhelm yourself. So if you can have a template, a workflow, an Asana template, whatever, for whatever it is you're doing, it's going to kind of it's that little kickstart you need to get a little momentum in your work.
Cool. One piece of advice for someone looking to up-level their business and have a greater impact.
Yeah, really get clear on who you want to serve and the result that you want to get for them. Really focus and live on that result. Really, just get clear on that result, because that impact is going to guide you, what it is you're impacting them with.
Awesome. Okay, let me take a look at the comments again. Roberta said, yes, in my empowered parent plan, I talk about positive labeling. We need to do this for our kids too. They become what we label them as. Yes. Speak life over your kids. Holy moly. Okay.
Love
So to wrap up, why don't you just tell everybody what's latest and greatest in your business and where everyone can connect with you?
Yeah, so connect with me over on Instagram at Katie Fleming, 1M, or you can come hang out with us on the website at 1kmom.com. Or, because I love Facebook groups, come to 1kmomtribe.com, and there you go.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Well, I had so much fun. Thank you for joining us. You guys connect with Katie. She's a rock star, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.